Welcome to KZOOM. We missed you.
We did.
We missed you. Going for 2 weeks without a KZOOM was that was a hard thing.
Yeah.
And now as each of your faces are appearing, it's like,
oh, we missed you.
So we might want to just to take a look around the Zoom room to connect with this special community of spiritual practice, how precious it is to be together in this strange way. Oh, yeah. So the name of this KZOOM, I think, has to do with blossoming forth and rooting down. And it's, the first chant that we'll do is, the reason why, that's what I decided to explore. But it really, brought me in this exploration, it brought me to something that seems maybe sometimes mundane, but I feel like it's profound, which is our posture. And our posture on the outside and on the inside, our stance really before the great mystery. That the posture and the way that, chanting is such an embodied practice. And I know that when I embody these sacred words, they live inside me, and then they give me instruction about every aspect of my life. So I was remembering I had written a letter to the KZ list about this realization about posture when I was living in Jerusalem in 1990-91. I went to a meditation class there taught by Michael Kagan, and he, so and the first class, he spent the whole first class on posture. And I thought, oh, come on, what's the big deal?
Let's get on to the good stuff.
But what's the big deal? Like, because every other meditation teacher always said to me, well, it doesn't matter that much. Just your spine should be straight, and and you should be relaxed or whatever. But he came around the room, and he kind of like to every person there to bring attention to posture, and he spent the whole class on that, as like the foundation of our practice. And at the time I didn't really appreciate it, but I think over the years in my practice, I realize I come back to it all the time and feel like that there's a relationship with how I hold myself on the outside with what happens inside me. And there is a name for the Jewish people, which is the upright ones, Yesharim, and Bnei Yesharim, the children of uprightness, and it refers to a place inside that stands up. And so I was really thinking about it a lot this week, because when this phrase that we're going to chant that says Ani chavatzelet hasharon, it's like that's I am, that ani is coming into the flowering that I am. And there's a movement inside that of, turning towards the light and opening up, unfolding into your true breadth and beauty. And the second part of it says Shoshanata Amakim. And Shoshanata Amakim, is translated as the lily of the valley, but it's, that word Hamakim are the depths. And some of the commentaries of this line, talk about those depths that we need to connect with. And so there is in some of the things that we've learned about posture have been from the Alexander technique, which really talks about going down in order to come up, really. And wouldn't you know, there's a Kabbalistic and Hasidic equivalent to going down in order to come up. That it's called Yerida Litzarech Aliyah, or Aliyah. So it's that you have to go down in order to come up, right? And in order to find that flowering within us, we need to find that depth. It's like they say the lotus that grows out of the mud. Like you can't avoid the mud, right? You have to actually root down. And the rooting down for me is into my lineage, my body, my earthiness, my, the deep parts in me. And and it's something that I forget and remember, and it's so important to find those depths in me. The other thing, what influence for me about posture was a TED Talk that I saw by, I think her name was Amy Cuddy, called about power poses.
Yeah.
And it was really about how when we use our bodies in a certain way, it awakens something of this connection to our power, and it really made an impression on me. And so I'm always posture is something I feel like I'm always refining somehow. I'm always looking at and tweaking. And at one point, when Rachmil and I were meditating, we for maybe 20 something years, we meditated once a day, and then we decided to go to twice a day, and it changed our lives. And
About 3 years ago, three or
yeah,
4 years ago.
yeah, it changed our lives. And the way it felt like to me was that we were placing our practice at the center of our being in some way. And that day, when I had that realization, we went to the chiropractor. Rockmill's always looking for a good chiropractor, and this chiropractor, she said to us, "Oh, you know, when you have the alignment of the skeleton, then all of the muscles work well. You know, it all rests on that, and
Yeah, the structure
on
and the
the
skeleton.
structure on the skeleton. And I had just had this realization, oh, my spiritual practice has become the skeleton of my life, and every other aspect of my life is going to rest on that. And all the muscles, all of my effort will actually be stressless when I can rest, can kind of know that foundation. So I wanted to really ask you where you're sitting right now, to feel that kind of. One of the things that Alexander Technique says, it's like a reclaiming of up. Sort of like, gravity is such a force. It brings us down, and there's this reclaiming of up. But in order to reclaim up, we have to sort of find ourselves rooted, and so I think all of these things that happen on the physical are also happening in the spiritual as well. So when we chant now these words from the Song of Songs, Ani Chavatzelet Sharon, I am this coming into the fullness of I am, and blossoming forth. And then Shoshanat Amakim, and then I'm going to root down into where I come from. And, I was reminded of Jonah, and I always love the questions that the sailors on the boat ask Jonah. Because there are questions that we need to hear, that we need to find. The boat's in a big storm, and they sort of they go to Jonah, and they say, where do you come from? What people are you from? What place? Like, where are your roots? And how can you be sleeping, through this? But those questions really of connecting to our roots, our lineage, our the place we come from at all different levels, will allow us then to blossom forth where we are into our beauty, and what happens with the flower, and the flower becomes, in the prophetic tradition, a symbol of redemption and glory, and in order to be able to to flower, and the flower is actually like the sexual organ of the plant, and it sends forth regenerativity into the world, and that's who we want to be as well. Even though a flower doesn't last too long, that's life. But while it lasts, it blossoms forth and it takes those places from the root, and really brings them out into the world, and we get to have our fragrance, our uniqueness waft into the world through that. So let's see if we can do this practice and feel it in our own bodies, that sense of blossoming forth, of reclaiming up, of turning towards the sun, and at the same time feeling at our roots, something's deep, 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 sending those roots down. Ani Kavatzelet Sharon,
Shoshana Hamaki Ani Kabatset Hasharon Shoshana Hamaki Ani Kabatset Hasharon Shoshana Hamaki Ani Kabatzel 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 Hasharon Shoshana Ani Kabatzel Hasharon Shoshana Hamaki Ani Kabatzel Hasharon Shoshana Ani Kabatzel Hasharon Shoshana Hamaki Ani Kabatzel Hasharon Shoshana
So really, the richness of this awareness of posture is really about waking us up from habits, from unconsciousness, and how we move, how we hold ourselves. We get into certain ruts certain automatic ways of being that might not actually serve us. And so it becomes kind of the metaphor for how we are in the world. And I don't know, it just feels like it's kind of a key in a way, to find those directions in order to expand into who I really am. So I wanted to choose, to choose a practice that could explore the goodness of the depths. And it's interesting as I read, in this phrase from Psalm 130 that says, "From the depths I call to you, oh God." The commentaries on this psalm are really kind of like the depths seemed like a really kind of a bummer place. That those depths are like the hard, difficult places. But I don't feel that way. I feel like those depths are the riches. And maybe even as we head in the direction towards Hanukkah and the solstice, to reclaim the darkness within and to find the richness of potentiality in those depths and to be able to live from those depths. I'm a little obsessed with depths, and at one time I wrote this article and somebody was editing it, and they said to me, "Shefa, you just can't say the word deep so many times." But I didn't know what else to do. That's it's what I want to live from the depths, and I know the times I get into trouble are when I'm living from the surface. And if I go to my depths, there is a different quality of presence that emerges. And yet those depths are a little dangerous sometimes because because whatever we're hiding inside us are also hidden in those depths, and we have to confront or heal or deal with our own places of shadow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is not a bad idea. But
it's our life's work.
But it's not easy.
Nope.
So I really wanted to reclaim the depths and to find my voice, the source of what I bring to the world from those depths. The words mema amakim, it's from those depths. And those are the same depths that our flower is rooted in, that we can't cut ourselves off from. We have to find that dark richness within and allow our call, which is our life, to be sourced there. So this is actually a 3-part chant, which Rahman will do one part, and I'll go back and forth between 2 and 3, but you can play with it.
Yeah.
If you want to add the 3rd part yourself, you can do that. But I just before we begin, just close your eyes, reach inside. And always that question, what is the deepest place inside from which my call can come? And breathing into the depths, breathing from those depths. So I was remembering that when I was teaching Kol Zimra, and we had 4 weeks, and the third week was called the Week of Devastation, in which we explored all of those deep places of shadow in us, of trauma, of fear, anxiety, grief, despair. It was so much fun. The reason it was so much fun is because when we came out on the other side of it,
That was the best Shabbat
it was the best Shabbat.
ever.
Because we had rooted down into those depths, that what the joy that came forth afterwards was, I think, extraordinary, and it really taught me a lesson not to turn away from what was in those depths, but instead to know that we are rewarded by facing those deep places, even when they're hard. So the Spear says I made friends with my monster. Right. So I think that when we have access to the depths, it also means that we are cultivating an inner life, an inner landscape. And I think of it as the landscape of the heart. Maybe I have to see what is that? Yeah. Well, that's why you have to move through despair, Zach. Right.
You don't stop. You
You
gotta
don't
keep
stop.
going.
You gotta. But if you would try to avoid it, it'll stay in you, right? So, so I think about this the inner life having to do for me with the energetic heart that I want to work with. I want to expand that landscape within me. I want to know it, and I want to sort of mine it for all of its the power that of the heart has. When there's people who measure the electromagnetic energy of the heart, and as compared with the brain, it is
It's like 20 times stronger.
like
100 times, 1,000 times.
1,000 times stronger. The electromagnetic energy of the heart, that it goes out maybe forever. It's like it's an amazing energy that we're working with. So I wanted to do this heart meditation that's from Psalm 77, and it says Im levavi asicha, and asicha is a word for meditation that really has in it the nuance of conversation, because asicha is conversation, but it's usually translated as with my heart. I meditate, or I converse. I move this energy inside me. And then, vaychapes ruchi. What is the result of that conversation, or that meditation, or that movement inside the heart, is that something of my spirit can fly, soar, explore, go out into the universe and come back. It's like the flowering, the blossoming forth. But as a heart blossoms, it reaches, the infinite. It really has this powerful energy. But sometimes we don't use that energy, we don't build that energy, we dissipate the energy of the heart. And so I wanted to do this heart meditation, and if you looked at it on my website, there are 3 phases of this heart meditation, and at least I'd like to do the first 2. And so the first phase of the meditation says, when we say those words, Im levavi asicha, we say that 3 times, and we put our attention on what I call the back door of the heart. The back door of the heart. It means like the energetic heart has a front to it, but it also has a back to it. And something happens when we bring our focus to the back of the heart. That is a kind of a building up of energy in the heart, and so we build up that energy in the heart, and then when you say Vayichapes Ruchi, you let it fly. You send that inner power that is accumulated in the heart out into the universe, and so that it can sort of fly and explore. And then when you say it again, you allow that spirit to return and find its home within your heart. So that's the first phase of the practice. And then I always like to add, in the second phase of the practice, I use a movement with it, and you can watch what I do with that at some point if you want to add movement to it, because that kind of even helps to build it even further. So let's, with the intention of really opening up the depths within us, of having this inner vastness that we want to have access to. So we begin by just imagining the back door of the heart, bringing our attention there. And as we chant, we're, whenever you have imagine something, the energy goes there. So you're imagining the back door of the heart when you're chanting, and the energy starts to build in the heart, and then we'll send it out as far as it can go. Im levavi asicha, im levavi asicha, im levavi asicha, Vayichapes ruchi, Vayichapes ruchi, Im levavi asicha, Im levavi asicha, Im levavi asicha, Vayichapes ruchi, Vayichapes ruchi, Im levavi asicha, Im levavi asicha, Im levavi asicha, Vayichapes ruchi, Vayichapes ruchi, Im levavi asicha, Im levavi asicha, Im levavi asicha, Vayichapes ruchi, Vayichapes ruchi,
levavi asika. Im levavi asika. Im levavi asika. Vaikapes ruchi. Vaikapes ruchi.
And if you want to add a movement to it, you turn your head to the left and circle it around. You live on me,
Asika.
circle it back.
Im levavi asika.
Circle down.
Im levavi asika.
And then you bow to the center.
Vaikapes ruchi.
And then come up into your fullness.
Vaikapes
Turn your
ruchi.
head to the left.
Im levavi asika. Im levavi asika. Im levavi asika.
And bow into your depths.
Vaikapes ruchi.
Come into your flowering.
Vaikapes ruchi. Im levavi asika. Im levavi asika. Im levavi asika.
Bow deeply.
Vaikapes ruchi. Vaikapes ruchi. Im levavi asika. Im levavi asika. Im levavi asika. Vaikapes ruchi. Vaikapes ruchi.
And once more.
Im levavi asika. Im levavi asika. Im levavi asika. Vaikapes ruchi. Vaikapes ruchi.
So keep your eyes closed and focus into the depths of your heart. The heart that connects us to the farthest reaches of the universe. So I think that we are meant to become the connectors between heaven and earth, between the great expanse and the depths within. And in doing so, we connect the world to, it's like we do this work not just for ourselves, but when we do it, then we can be instruments of, I think of that the transcendent and the immanent, that they don't need to be separated. They within us we find the connection, and in that way we can bring the divine flow into the world through this instrument, but we got to work with the instrument, right? I just tell you this story about chiropractic, that when I went to my first chiropractic appointment that I had when I was like 19 years old, the night before I had a dream. And in the dream, this old, I don't know, I guess he wasn't that old, but he had a long beard, and he was speaking to me very gently, and he said to me, "The body is a beautiful musical instrument, but it needs to be tuned so that it could play beautiful music." And so that was the dream. That was the dream. I walked into the chiropractor's office, and there on the wall was the picture of the man in my dream.
Palmer, the founder of chiropractic. Kind of blew the chiropractor's mind.
I'm like, whoa, who is that guy? He was in my dream last night. He was explaining to me what we do here. But I think of it not just the body, but the energetic body. It needs tuning, and it needs tuning every day to be able to be the instrument that God can play, that the music that music can move through us. Let me just see. Yeah. So one more practice I wanted to do, and this is a practice that for some reason when I was thinking about those depths and that expanse that I wanted to connect, I thought of this practice of Ashrei, Yoshvei, Veitecha. So it has to do with grounding ourselves, inhabiting this home, this God house, the God consciousness, which is our relationship, our connection to all of creation. So it says, happy are those that dwell in your house, that root down into that truth of our connection. Happy are those that do that. And when they do that, this is what happens. Oh, Hallelujah, which is
uncontrollable praise.
Uncontrollable praise, right? That it blossoms forth. But imagine just saying our roots are in God. I know there's some people I drive crazy. I drive them crazy because I say God, but I love saying
The Great
God.
Spirit, the Great Mystery.
So we want to root ourselves there. We want to make ourselves at home in the God house, and then let our lives be our praise. Oh, Hallelujah! What blossoms forth for us becomes the praise of being, of creation, of the process itself. It's like the practice of praise is so central, and such a mystery too. And I don't know if I told this story about when I was a little girl, and I asked my rabbi, why do we praise? It seems so, I didn't understand it. Like, I looked at the liturgy and I said, we're always saying all these praises to God. Why are we doing this? And he gave me an answer that was so stupid that I just knew it couldn't be true. He said, well, if you want to ask for something first, you have to butter him up.
Not awful.
And I was like,
Yeah.
that couldn't be true. But it was great because it sent me on my path to really understand what praise is about. And I think that the praise really is what lifts our consciousness, and it's what connects us to the whole. It takes us on a journey, and so I want to do this as our final practice, and then next week it's Hanukkah.
Yay! First night of Hanukkah.
First night of
How
Hanukkah.
about that? Yay!
I'm gonna have a menorah here.
We will.
We're all on different time zones and everything, but we can have our menorahs. We can bring that light
Yeah.
in, and really kind of exciting. So let's see if we can explore a little bit of that joy that comes from rooting down and blossoming forth. Oh, Barak has his. Look at
Oh, it
his.
was a whale, Jonah and the whale. Yeah. A whale menorah, or Hanukkah.
So let's see if we can do it both. It's a become aware of your posture, of the rooting down and the blossoming forth, reclaiming up. Ashrei Yoshvei Ve'etecha Od Yahalelucha Od Yahalelucha Ashrei Yoshvei Be'etecha Od Yahalelucha Od Yahalelucha
Ashrei Yoshvei
Be'etecha Od Yahalelucha Od Yahalelucha
Ashrei Yoshvei Be'etecha Od Yahalelucha Od Ashrei Yoshvei
Oh, hallelujah. Oh, hallelujah. Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha. Oh, hallelujah. Oh, hallelujah.
So let's take all of this energy of rooting down and blossoming forth and give it, sort of share it around the Zoom room. We can just bring your flower to each other, looking around the Zoom room and bringing your flower there. So good to see these flowering faces.
Yeah. Oh.
Names.
My heart feels like warmed, like by the wood stove, by a hearth fire. My heart is just warm and cozy after this past hour. Yay!
Yeah, we needed this. So
Yeah.
so when I think about us going into our small groups for people who want to do
People that
we
can
call it
stay.
the breakthrough groups.
Yes.
Is that when you have any kind of a sense of in your practice, like something touched you, or something was interesting, then when you share that with somebody else, it makes it more real. It kind of anchors it
Yeah.
inside you
Yeah.
to be able to share a little bit about what touched you. So I'm going to ask anybody who's not staying to...
We love you. Bye. Don't forget to donate.
Oh yeah, don't forget to donate. We need those donations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And then we will just take 10 minutes in a small group to meet each other. Okay, is everybody gone? Okay, I'm gonna...
Here we go.
There we go. And I'll call you back in 10 minutes. Let's see. You have to press the thing.
Press that
Join.
button.
Press the button to join. Oh, there she goes.
Ramana.
Let's see if everybody is at least... Oh, well, I didn't join. So at least there's either 2 or 3 in every group.
Oh, good.
Yeah, she didn't join. But there's...
Mm-hmm. That too. Oh, that's good.
Well, Clem and Robin are both there. So.
Right. Oh, good. So that's 3. Yeah.
Remember Anne